Betrayed after cancer, she cheated while I fought for my life. I never imagined my life would become a Reddit drama. But here I am, pouring out my shattered heart to strangers. What started as a love story, a partnership against the world, has morphed into a nightmare I can barely comprehend. After 10 years together, fighting tooth and nail for our dreams, enduring hardship and building a beautiful family, I caught my wife in a lie. A betrayal so deep it cut me to the core. The worst part, it all unfolded while I was recovering from cancer surgery, vulnerable and desperately clinging to the hope that we could get through anything together. Let me start by apologizing for any grammatical errors. English isn't my first language, but I need to tell the story. 4 years. We struggled, dealing with financial hardship and sacrificing vacations to build a better future. We built a good life with amazing, well-paid jobs, loving, and supporting each other. Or so I thought. I adored my wife. Every moment, every memory, every kiss, every hug. The way she looked at me, I cherished it all. I thank God every day for bringing her into my life, truly believing she loved me just as fiercely. Our children were the greatest blessing of all, the center of our universe. Then, in February 2022, the unthinkable happened. War erupted in our country. Fear gripped us as missile attacks rained down on our city. We made the agonizing decision to flee to the western part of the country. Soon after, my wife's close female friend told us there was an apartment waiting for them in Europe. In those terrifying circumstances, we didn't have time to overthink. I bought my wife and children tickets out of the country. I couldn't go. Men are forbidden from leaving due to martial law. They refused to abandon everything and stay and told us to save the kids no matter what. During those first terrifying days, I felt perpetually exhausted. Doctors dismissed it as war-related stress, prescribing pills and telling me to relax. In August 2022, I received the devastating news I had thyroid cancer. It was discovered by accident, and my world imploded. Everything stopped. I reached the absolute bottom, swallowed by darkness. I cried endlessly, my wife crying alongside me. Everyone shocked and confused. But with her support and the unwavering love of my family, I found the strength to prepare for surgery. The treatment required complete removal of my thyroid, forcing me to drastically change my lifestyle, prioritizing rest and healthy living. The initial months post-surgery were brutal. The wound on my neck throbbed with unrelenting pain, making it nearly impossible to eat or swallow. The hormonal imbalances and crushing loneliness plunged me into a deep depression. I felt like I was losing myself, desperately missing my wife and children. She did manage to visit me for a few weeks in September 2022, and I felt I had life back. I felt like this my life now. The war and the distance between us. How long could I take the punches? Eventually, I swallowed my pride and sought therapy. It was agonizing at first, but slowly, I began to reclaim my life, to smile again, to envision a future with my beautiful family. Then, in December 2022, the cracks began to appear, widening into gaping fissures. My family was living in shared accommodation with other refugees, mostly from her home city. She became increasingly distant, forging close bonds with other young women, spending nights at bars and cafes. I knew she had a strained relationship with her mother, who could be abusive and controlling, wanting her to stay home with the kids. While I understood her mother's concern, I refused to confine my wife, believing she needed to be free for her mental health. But beneath the surface, a gnawing feeling of neglect consumed me. She rarely reciprocated my declarations of love. When I, fueled by desperation, asked direct questions about the state of our marriage, her answers were consistently positive, platitudes designed to placate. Of course I miss you. Everything is fine. I'm just tired. Yet, she also accused me of being an alarmist, ignoring the fact that all I craved was her attention, an attention she seemed unwilling to give. I was terrified that the woman I knew and loved was slipping away. I felt guilty for contributing to her stress, so I backed off. Months later, my oncologist gave me hope. I qualified for documents allowing me to cross the border and finally reunite with my family. I could kiss my wife, hug my kids, take them to the seaside. But the closer I got to securing those documents, the more distant my wife became. No matter what I did. Finally, in May 2023, I arrived. My children were overjoyed, crying and smiling. My wife, however, seemed strangely detached. There was no home-cooked meal, just a mess of dirty dishes. Our first night together was uneventful, devoid of intimacy. Hadn't she missed me? We hadn't seen each other in almost a year. 3 weeks in September 2022 doesn't count. 1 week turned into another, with barely any physical connection. No kisses. No affection. I sat her down and asked if everything was truly okay. Her response was a jarring blow. Honey, I just waited for so long that I am not so sex-addicted anymore. But it's not about you. We are good. We need some space. My suspicions spiraled. A few days later, I saw a strange message pop up on her phone. Watch your photos in social media. Immediately, I confronted her, demanding to know who this was and how she felt. She claimed she didn't know how she felt anymore. I acknowledged the difficulty of our separation, offered her time and space. Despite my reservations, we went to the coast as a family, trying to relax. One night, while she was out with friends, I couldn't sleep, overwhelmed by anxiety. I looked at her phone. I opened her messengers and discovered the truth. Digital flirting, explicit messages, declarations of love, all for someone else. My heart shattered. I confronted her that night, and after I pressured her, she confessed. She thought she had deleted everything. I spent the remaining weeks with my kids, desperately trying to understand, to shoulder the blame myself, searching for any reasonable explanation. We slept in the same bed, had sex, and I tried to win her back. The affair had been ongoing for months. Once back in my home country, I began to analyze the situation, seeking answers, but she only asked for more time to figure things out. I suggested marriage counseling twice, but she dismissed it as if I'd never spoken. It was her choice, her decision to destroy everything. I lost her forever. I lost myself. I feel like an unworthy human being, completely devastated. Why wouldn't she talk to me? I honestly thought we were finally happy, ready to relax after years of chasing our dreams. Had she told me she was unhappy, I would have tried to fix it. To fix us. These things don't happen overnight. But she never communicated her feelings, her needs. Last summer, she sent me a heartfelt letter professing her love and longing. Now, reading our old messages, I can't believe it was all a lie. I'm desperately trying to heal, but seeing those disgusting texts, the photos she never sent me, it's unbearable. How could someone who vowed to face any challenge alongside me betray me so cruelly? She refuses to discuss the reasons behind her actions. My only solace is my incredible children, and I'm contemplating divorce. I'm terrified they'll blame me for ruining our family. I'm not looking for advice. I just needed to share my pain, to cry it out. The betrayal hurts deeply, as does the fear of my cancer returning if I give up. Thank you for reading this. I'm trying to stay strong for my children and myself, to not let the cancer win again. Update: I found out my lawyer told me that even though I could have collected evidences, like screenshots of their affair, the courts in our country never ever consider them when taking a decision. I understand that I'm losing so much more than my wife. After such betrayal, file for the divorce. But where will you live? Where will the kids live? What if she alienated the kids from you in the process? I am not sure whether she has any plans to return. All I know for sure is that wherever they live, I'm ready to visit my kids and even take them home for summer holiday. That is the best I can do, and this also breaks my heart each second I think about. Why don't you move to Europe so you have access to your kids all the time? Let divorce happen. I worry with the distance she will also try to replace you as her father as well. That way custody will be 50-50. Don't give up your children. Time will tell. If they stay there, I'll consider a relocation for sure. As for replacement, this is just a matter of time, and there is nothing I can do here, unfortunately. Contact with my kids. Can the children stay in contact with you without her interference? Are they old enough to own phones? I really hope things work in your favor and that you don't lose your children too. Yeah, my 7-year-old son calls me every day via FaceTime before you wake up. The way he tells me how he loves me and miss me tear my heart weather report for tiny pieces. Every single time. Whatever the outcome. He's a smart kid and I believe that someday he will understand me and forgive. And so is his little sister Precious, which I love with all my heart. Anyway, I'll be the best dad till my last breath. Thank you for your kind words. Update 1. Let me be clear about myself. I am not a perfect husband and partner by any mean. I am not saying either. But I truly love my wife. I only dreamed about getting old with her by my side. I cherish every single moment staying with her. Sincere feelings I never doubt about. I wasn't abusive. If I wasn't controlling. Sometimes I was rude, but I have feelings and bad days too. I always apologize first. I always try to protect. I just wanted to make this woman a happiest person in the world. I love my kids. They are my safe place. They are my own universe. No one is perfect. I trusted her and never saw any red flags. She is not good at communicating about her feelings, and I guess this is where it came from. Did I miss something by myself? Probably yes. I was so depressed because of my diagnosis that she may feel neglected even though I tried to communicate the best I can. This is how I reacted in the darkest hour. No matter what you're going through right now. This is our crap, and we made vows to each other that we will support each other till death tear us. Was I tempted to fall in love with other women within these 10 years? She is my sun and my sky. There were a few women who tried to seduce me. But I have my own moral compass. My walls around my safe. My dad cheated on my mom many years to come. Once I grew up, I found how hard it was for my mother to move on after the betrayal. I promised myself that I will never ever cheat on or hurt the person I love. Update 2. And I have calls with my beautiful kids. It is 3-month pass since I discovered her affair with some random guy, and we still didn't have any conversation on what the hell is going on. She talks to me like we are good friends. She complains about some random stuff. I don't really care. They still don't know. She talks about her upcoming vacation with kids. I shared my plans to be at my son's birthday, and she asked me if I'm going to celebrate a new year with them because she was thinking that I will. I feel so awkward and disrespected. I've been sleeping for a few hours every night since the D-Day, and she asked me why I feel so tired. She is like an alien, like some other person I don't know, and it hurts like hell. She looks happy without me. I feel like crap and can't move on no matter what I've tried. It was her AP staying at the hotel where your wife and her friends were, or was that her boss you were concerned about? Don't know anything about her AP except its social media profile. She didn't make any single attempt to talk to me since D-Day divorce, and you are remorse. Update 3. I must admit that I was fooled and manipulated, and as some of you commented in my previous post. Long story short, my son called me yesterday, and while we've been talking, my 2-year-old daughter came into his room showing that her diaper. I asked my son to call mom to change the diaper, and he told me that she's out and will be at home in 2 hours. She lied to me that the affair is over. All the time she didn't say a word while I was talking to her. She just told me that she doesn't want to have this conversation now, and that she is not obligated to explain the situation to me. My God, how could this be the woman I married 10 years ago? I don't need a closure conversation anymore. I am finally going to tell about her affair to our families and friends. I don't want to play those mind-every games and being manipulated. If she doesn't respect me and my feelings. Update 4. I am here in Europe again. Drove to 500 kilometers to spend Christmas with my kids, celebrate my son's birthday, and discuss our inevitable divorce. I've been thinking about the final conversation for a long time. Since there was not any signs of her being prepared to file for divorce, I must admit, it was much harder than I expected. We both cried a lot. It's been nearly 9 months since they started to see each other. It hurts, it sucks. My feelings too are slowly fading day by day. My priorities for now are self-love, off my health, and my kids will be missing every single day. While long-distance here, I can't hate her or wish her to be miserable for the rest of her life. She's just a stranger for me now, and I'm letting her go. Thanks everyone for reading this in my previous post. Thank you for all of your advice, and no one knows what the future holds, but I am sure it is much brighter without a liar by my so. Reddit. After hearing my story, the pain, the betrayal, the lies, do you think I'm handling this situation the right way? Should I be doing more? Could I have done something different to prevent this? I'm open to hearing any and all opinions, even the harsh ones. I'm desperate for some outside perspective as I navigate this devastating chapter of my life. Please share your thoughts and advice. I really appreciate your honesty and insights.